All right, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day, whichever time zone you're in. Welcome to another wonderful edition of our IFES GDC IUC Global Webinar Series. And do we have an exciting webinar for you? Yes, we have an outstanding webinar for you today. We have this amazing topic that's going to be very, very useful for students. The topic is bringing students closer to industry by enabling job discovery in symposiums. And the company that brings it to us is Recorem, the platform. So the folks that are up here looking at you are the co-founders of this company. We have Pratap Ramanathan, who's co-founder of Recorem. He has an MBA with 20 years of experience, heading a multinational staffing and consulting firm, Redefined Corporation in New York. So he's based in New York with offices in India, Canada, and Germany. Key areas of expertise of Pratap's are HR, finance, international business development. And then, of course, we have the young, dynamic Vikash Suresh, a co-founder of Recorem, an engineer and a keen industry observer from Canada with experience in heading operations in the staffing and consulting industry. He has recognized the potential of specialized events to create a new avenue to recruit skilled talent. Key areas of expertise include product ideation, product management, growth strategy, and execution. So the topic is just perfect for the times and all over the world, bringing students closer to industry by enabling job discovery. So over to you, folks, and I'm going to stop showing my face and let you take over.
Oh, thank you very much, Professor Krishna. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you very much for it. I want to begin the presentation by thanking Professor Hans, who has been gracious enough to bring us to this platform, to this forum. He's been very supportive, and I thank him very much for this. I also want to thank Aliki at this time for setting this up and making this happen. Thank you very much, Aliki. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, depending on where you are. A big hello from us, from Recorem and Redefined Corp. We have Vikas and I, who are a part of Redefined Corp, the staffing organization. And I want to introduce Recorem, the product that we have been working on for the past 2 years. Vikas is based out of Edmonton in Canada, and I am in New York. We've been working on this product, Recorem, in terms of both ideation, product development, and testing it with event organizers. This has been a product that has been it's gone through 3 phases of development and design and all that. So it's finally mature, and we're happy to let you know that April 16th we had an official launch of the product. Now, to give you a little introduction of what Recorem is, the main aim of Recorem is to enable real-time discovery of job opportunities and connect job seekers with companies that are looking in that specific areas. What we call a professional gathering is we want to separate from the events that are like a marriage or a wedding or any other non-professional event. So you can call it a conference, you can call a workshop, you can call it any professional event is where Recorem would come into use. Recorem is built as a web application. The new technologies, React, and the latest and the greatest as far as technology is concerned, is very up to date. And the main thing about Recorem is we are trying to enable job discovery because we feel that events are not properly harnessed as far as talent is concerned. The aspect of enabling job discovery during an event is something that has been happening throughout all events. People have been walking to events and talking to people to find opportunities and also to find talent. That hasn't been harnessed properly. There's no software that enables this to happen when the events are of a sizable nature. If the event has 100 people, it's easier to walk up to people and talk to them and do this. Where if there are more than 100 people, then it becomes very hard to find out who is who. If there is an application that is able to list the opportunities and people who are interested in the opportunity, if they're able to see it using an app, it's going to be very useful for both the hiring companies and people who are looking for the new opportunities. Um, and that's the core concept of Recorem. Now, the users of Recorem, I want to give you a little bit of an introduction into who are the people who are likely to use Recorem. At the top of this entire thing is the organizer who's conducting the event. Now he or she is the main stakeholder here, because he's going to implement the product in his event. Now, why a normal organizer would use Recorem is one, he wants to make his event more interesting for the attendees. However, at the back of all this, if you look at events before the pandemic hit, it was all on. It was not online. Most of the events were happening in conference halls, in hotels. But when pandemic struck, nobody wanted to meet or greet anymore, and all had to be virtual. Now, what happened was organizers found it very hard to sell tickets and to um, price the entrance to events anymore, because everything was online and there's no monetization. So this became a big problem, and everybody is struggling to find revenue from online events. So one reason Recorem could help is to bring revenue generation into event organization. Um, Even if the organizer is offering the event for free, he could charge companies to post jobs or job seekers if it's a premium job, or if he's allowing premium features in the product, he can monetize that. That's the core concept of why an organizer would use Recorem. Now, the other thing that people are struggling with in the event organization uh, platform is that when an online event is announced, a lot of people register, and at the day of the event, they find that only about 50% of the people show up. Now, during the first half of the event, there's a lot of engagement, but during the second half, the engagement drops. So organizers are struggling with this. Now, how Recorem comes into help is an organizer can control the engagement by announcing company participation and jobs at different times during the event to keep the audience engaged. That is one of the reasons that we want to bring in Recorem, and also enable the organizer to time the listing of jobs so people can remain engaged through the event. Now, companies, why would a company come to an event to recruit? So companies traditionally use agencies, job boards. Those are the normal methods of finding people, and headhunters they use to bring in talent. Now, when we talk about people who are not on job boards, who are not actively looking, there is very little options for companies to do. So what we tell companies is use Recorem during an event. You have a gathering of entirely specifically skilled people close to what you're looking for. Let me give you an example here. If you go to a cardiology conference, you're likely to find people related to that industry gathering there. It could be doctors, it could be technicians, it could be anybody that is totally related to that specific field. Now, when a company is listing a job, when a hospital is listing a job, or a or a or any organization in the medical field that needs somebody in the cardiology related area, they're going to go to that event and try to hire there. The same thing could be in IT. It could be it could be a data conference where a company is looking for data professionals who are very niche. They go to a data event to hire a data person. Apart from this, the those who are not already on the job boards are at the event. Not everybody who comes in there have posted the jobs on job boards, and they come into the event, and when they're able to see that there is a job and they might be interested in the job, everybody's looking for an opportunity all the time. So if they're not actively looking on the job boards, in the event when they see a job, they might be interested in applying for that job. So the passive job seekers is a market that everybody wants to target, but they don't know how to do it. One of the reasons companies use headhunters is to get passive job seekers call into organizations to see if they're willing to move their jobs. Now, Recorem provides this opportunity for companies to be able to reach out to passive job seekers while they are in an event, and if they're able to be if they're able to make their jobs visible there, the chances of them finding a passive job seeker is much higher using Recorem during an event. Now, the other user is going to be job seekers. It's obvious why a job seeker would want to use Recorem, but I'm going to make this more interesting for job seekers here with what Recorem provides. Firstly, a job seeker, when they go to a job board, when they're between jobs, they go to a job board, put up their resumes in there. The first thing they do is they look for jobs that have been posted as recent as possible. But those who have been using job boards, you'll notice that most of the jobs are not listed within the last 2 or 3 days. The jobs are old. We don't know how many resumes the company has got. We don't know if they're actively still hiring. So what happens in Recorem is jobs are listed only during the event. The jobs are guaranteed. They're probably not 1 or 2 days old, and somebody is actively looking to hire for those jobs. So the freshness of jobs is something that's it's very relevant for the job seekers. They know that somebody is going to they go look at their resume. Somebody is actively looking to hire for that role. But the most important thing that we try to do with Recorem is address an issue that job seekers world over have been facing. We apply for a job using a job board. We never hear back from anybody unless you're selected. So this adds to frustration. People think, hey, um, companies don't care about me. They don't, and it creates a kind of mistrust between companies and job seekers. So what we're trying to implement using Recorem is to enable a job seeker to hear back whether it's good or bad, whether he's been selected, not shortlisted, using Recorem's system where a resume is reviewed and a response is given to the job seeker within 72 hours after the event ends. The main reason we find this is this makes it really valuable for job seekers to apply during an event. They know whether they've been shortlisted or not within 72 hours. Additionally, we also provide analytics for the job seeker. We provide analytics for companies and the organizer. For the companies, we provide analytics like how many other companies have posted similar jobs, how many responses they got. These are things that I'd like you all to go into Recorem and find out for yourself how we implement these analytics. For job seekers, we give analytics as to what skills the other people who got the jobs had. In some areas, we also provide what the actual pay was, the salaries that the other people made. So we give analytics on these areas, and I'd like to encourage everybody to go into Recorem and try to see how we're implementing this. This is something that the job boards don't provide, and we're trying to provide this in our own manner. Now, the other important stakeholder for this Recorem as a product is going to be our association with industries. We are reaching out to a variety of industries. By the way, I have to mention that Recorem supports 70 plus industries or domains, yeah, from IT to medical to insurance, hotel, healthcare, agriculture. We cover 70 plus industries with our database. So everywhere here today, you see a lot of focus on IT and people trying to help the IT industry and internships and all that and jobs with IT. But what about other disciplines? What do folks in other industries do? So we're tying up with industry associations so they can be part of Recorem and their members. For example, we were talking yesterday um, to to an industry association that's related to printed circuit boards. Now they're struggling to find people that are specific. They finding it difficult to find students who have skill in that particular area. They've engaged with 6 colleges throughout India to train students only to hire for their particular industry. So this was an eye opener for us, even though we intended to do this. When we spoke to this particular association and we found out that they were struggling with this, they were able to see why they need to be a part of the of a platform like Recorem, which reaches out to colleges through the country, throughout the world. We're going to be a database of associations throughout different geographies. So what we're trying to do is trying to bring a I don't know, it's too cliche to call we're trying to shrink the world, but we're trying to bring different organizations from different parts of the world into one platform, and this would enable them to reach out to different colleges, different talent from all over the world, and also bring opportunities for them, for their members. Now, apart from the opportunity, industry associations tend to also have gain revenue, provide discounts for tickets on Recorem to their members, and also provide opportunities and jobs to people who are members in their. When I say associations, it could be a community, it could be an association of industries. So that's a very important stakeholder for Recorem, because when a college is trying to conduct a symposium and they use Recorem, that particular department that's holding the symposium is going to get a group of industry associations to participate. Members from that industry association will get a notification from Recorem that a symposium in this area is being conducted by this college. That brings awareness, and companies can come and try to hire during that particular symposium. That's how this is going to help industry associations. I mean, education institutions, colleges, and universities. Excuse me. The main reason we're presenting here today is to address educational institutions. Why educational institution is a core part of Recorem. The reason industry associations and Recorem exist is to enable job discovery, and we know that jobs are going to be there. However, for an educational institution, right, how is this going to be important? Placement season happens for 2 to 3 months in a year. Using Recorem, we want to make placements happen through the year. Internship opportunities be available through the year for all students. Every time a college looks to conduct a symposium, there's going to be jobs listed using Recorem. There is going to be job discovery and internship discovery happening through those symposiums. That is the concept of Recorem being implemented in educational institutions. Now, there is a revenue model that that we have in place for this. It doesn't cost the institution anything to implement Recorem. There's possible revenue, but revenue is not the primary motive for this institution-based implementation for Recorem. The other reason education institutions will want to use Recorem in their symposiums is to enable a wide reach for their students. For example, if somebody is sitting in one metro city in any country, students tend to look for jobs in that particular area, or that particular geographical region. In today's world, remote work, people willing to relocate, we want to bring opportunities from different geographical regions to students in any university. We want to be able to help universities collaborate with other countries, other areas, other geographical regions. So we because of our database and because of our reach and because of the number of events that we're going to list on Recorem, we're going to enable a much larger industry, I mean geographical exposure to the colleges. So here's we're getting closer to what why we are presenting today. We are trying to see why a college or a university would use Recorem. As I've already addressed earlier, internship discovery, students, it could be a first year, second year student, third year student, or final year student. Internship discovery is a problem. Currently, students reach out to friends and families. They try to go to different job boards, try to get internships. We notice that a lot of jobs are available. Like internships are getting more popular for people in the IT industry. What about the other disciplines? Students in other disciplines are finding it hard to find internship. Even people in IT, in colleges, in different parts, if they're not in a big city, if not they're not a tier one college, they're finding it hard to get any kind of reach from companies to find internships. We want to try to make that happen. We want to try to bring internship opportunities for all students, all disciplines throughout the year, multiple years of their college life. The main reason is once they get opportunities, once they have, we believe that a student who has gone through an internship is a better hire at the end of his college education. With no practical training, with no exposure to industry and how the industry works, students just find it extremely difficult to get their first jobs. That's why internships are going to be extremely hard. I mean, I don't have to address the crowd here about how important internships are, but we're trying to make this available to all students, irrespective of where the college is located, what discipline they're pursuing. We want to make internships available to almost everybody on an equal basis. I've already addressed the non-IT industries. A lot of people have reached out to us saying that, hey, everybody's talking about IT. The happening disciplines get all the attention. What about the students pursuing um, other disciplines? It's a big disservice that only some industries are getting all the attention. So we want to balance this out. We want to reach out to industry associations from different domains, industries. We're going to encourage them to look at internships, post jobs and opportunities for students to come and work, whether it's summer or off hours during the year. That's what we're trying to do with Recorem. I've already addressed the skill gap. We talked about the printing circuit board industry that we spoke about earlier. The skill gap that they see between students coming out of colleges, why they need to have a training, even though they're hiring somebody from a college, they had to bring a training program into the college to see that they have some skills when they come into their industry. Now, the other reason we find colleges are struggling, or they're finding it hard to conduct more symposiums, is the availability of funds. Our revenue model is going to address that. When colleges in the audience or anybody who reaches out to us, They worried about symposiums. We're going to talk about the revenue model for them. Now, I'm going to let Vikas. I know I've been talking for a long time. I'm going to give Vikas an opportunity here to address going forward what the solution is, how he has conceived Recorem, what he thinks would be the best way a college should go forward with using Recorem. Vikas, can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you, Pratap.
Please come in. Sure.
So, I mean, that was a lovely introduction, and I think you have set the premise for what is Recorem and why should colleges, consider using Recorem. Now that we have discussed on what is the problem that we are looking to solve and why Recorem could be the need of the hour, I'm going to actually elaborate more on how Recorem can be implemented in a college and how do you get started with this? Like, what are we exactly trying to do here? So if you see the first point in my solution, I talk about specialized jobs and specialized symposiums. Now, what we mean by this is, if you see most of the colleges and universities today, they have symposiums that is hosted and conducted by a department in their university. So for example, let's talk about the faculty of computer science engineering or the faculty of mechanical engineering. They have symposiums and workshops that is hosted internally, and the core reason why they're hosting this symposium is to bring some industry experts to come and talk about how certain theoretical concepts are practically implemented in today's world. And many students, they come forward and they join these symposiums, one because they're curious to learn, and two, a lot of symposiums actually provide certifications, and some symposiums, they also have paper presentation attached to it, and the paper presentation adds credit to a student's portfolio, or when the student is looking to pursue higher education, this paper presentation adds value. Now we are talking about specialized symposium. What we mean by this is, I'm going to give an example so that we all can visualize how Recorem is going to work. Let's look at the computer science industry, because it's an easy industry, to give an example. So in the computer science industry, we had a symposium that was focused on data security. So in this data security symposium, we had some cryptographers and data security experts come in and talk about how important data security is in today's world, and how big of an industry this is, and all the opportunities available in data security. Now, Recorem in this particular event will make sure that companies in the data security space, let's say there are many IT companies, startups, or even there are non-IT companies that actually focus on data security. If they are interested in hiring freshers or interns who have some knowledge in data security, it would make sense for this company to make their job visible in this symposium. So how are we going to do this? All the college has to do is they can, host plan a symposium. They can then add Recorem in the symposium, and through Recorem, a candidate will be able to find jobs relevant to the candidate's skills. Now, when a student who's participating in this data security symposium, they will be able to learn from the symposium what is data security, all the opportunities. Parallelly, the student can also find internship opportunities in data security. So I'm going to actually talk about how this is done as we go forward, because in the next slide, I'm going to talk in detail more about the implementation. Now, not just this job discovery that Recorem offers. The other reason why Recorem is needed today is students, they get a chance to interact with the industry. Like most of the students, they only, talk to a company or get to understand what the company needs during the campus placement season. And the campus placement normally happens in the final year. So this needn't happen. Why shouldn't a candidate start talking to companies or interfacing with companies from the second year onwards? How can we make that happen? And that is where symposiums play a key role. Every department can host multiple symposiums, because the symposium is going to focus on a particular topic when it comes to that particular department. Right. And here on Recorem, like Pratap addressed, we cater to multiple industries, 70+ industries to be precise. So if you want to plan an event in computer science, symposium. Similarly, you can also plan multiple symposiums for other departments. We are talking about mechanical departments, ECE, EEE, right? And if you want to step out of out of engineering, you can even focus on medical, healthcare. So we in India, we do have colleges from the pharma and pharmacy industry. They reached out to us, and we have provided a solution on how Recorem can be implemented in their symposium. We recently had colleges reach out to us because they wanted to do a symposium for the mechanical department because they felt most of their students find it difficult to identify internship opportunities. The same with ECE and EEE. So one thing that we believe is Recorem will help a student interface with the industries, right? Understand how many opportunities are there in the market right from the second year onwards through their symposiums. This job discovery is going to be a value addition in that symposium. And Recorem is not a virtual job fair platform. Recorem is not it's not a job portal either. What Recorem is trying to do here, Recorem only enables a medium to discover opportunities. We make sure that no interviews happen during the symposium because we don't want to distract the agenda of the symposium. There is a speaker who's talking about something, there is a workshop, and then there are a lot of activities happening actually during the symposium, and all this does is provide a value addition. So we have actually developed this product in such a way that it can be implemented in a physical event or a virtual event. So like Pratap said, we were working on this for the last 2-3 years. And in fact, we even started developing this product before the pandemic came. So today, a lot of colleges are wondering because of the pandemic and because of the lockdown, how are we going to host symposiums? We have actually conducted 2 events, and that was completely virtual. One was called the Data Lab, and now we have another event that is coming called the Java Lab, which is a conference for Java professionals. Now, we are actually trying to create a similar symposium, data symposium for a college in India, and it is done in a virtual format. Everything is virtual, and all they do is they come onto that webinar, they follow the webinar, and on Recorem, they'll be able to parallelly find opportunities. So why would a student come and use Recorem? That was actually already explained by Pratap. That is, we give a guaranteed feedback. And this guaranteed feedback is going to tell a student within 72 hours after the event ends if their application is shortlisted for an interview or not. So it is possible that a student may not have any skills at all, right? Most of the students, if you see freshers, when they complete their education and when they enter the job market as a fresher, they realize that they are, most of them are jack of all trades. They don't have a specific skill. When they go to a company, they realize that the company asks them, okay, do you have some experience in this? Do you have some knowledge in this? And then the student realizes that the student doesn't have in-depth knowledge in anything. And later the student decides to go back, do a training course, or the student volunteers to work for free to get some experience and to learn. Now, this can be avoided if the student gets a chance to actually test the pulse of the industry while in college. A student can know, okay, I'm a mechanical engineer, and today I see the world is heading towards, I'm let's say towards something like, let's say the world is heading towards a special technology, and this technology is going to be the future of the mechanical industry. Right? It may be new here, but within 4 years, the student may become an expert in that and learn more about it. And the student may actually understand exactly why this technology is the need of the hour. Accordingly, the student can do training programs. Accordingly, the student can join workshops. The student can actually understand what the industry expects and prep himself, for the job. Most of the students, if you see, in fact, this is the truth. And I'm sure most of you in today's seminar would agree that everyone's first job, most of them, right, the first job, their career was decided by the first job. So you go to a placement drive and you realize that there was a company that came and gave you a job. Whatever the company is going to ask you to do and train you in, that is going to be your career. That's going to be everything that you'll do for the next few years, unless and until you decide to take a break and decide, no, this is not my cup of tea, let me do something else. So Recorem in Symposium is going to help students, help anyone like get some understanding on where the industry is heading, how many opportunities are there, what works best for my caliber and my interest, and where should I actually focus. And that is something Recorem can do. And Recorem is going to help by one giving a feedback for every application, and this feedback will also have analytics. Now this analytics is going to tell them these were the skills that the employer was looking for, and you were not shortlisted because you did not have these skills. Now this is going to motivate the student to go back, do some certifications, and then come back or go and get trained, or look out for ways to upskill himself or herself, and then they will definitely get a better chance when they apply for the next job, again through another symposium. Now not just Symposium, on Recorem they will be also, they can also find other events. Now Recorem is a truly global platform. So this being nowadays, if you see, virtual events did a big thing. They broke the geographical boundary. And not just that, the pandemic got most of them used to the remote work culture. At least 50% of the industries today, they have decided that their industry can function with 100% work from home model. Yeah, it is true. There are industries like mechanical industry and ECE and many specialized industry that cannot work from home. Yeah, we can even take healthcare, right? I mean, there are certain things that cannot always work from home, but uh, we needn't rule out the possibility that today students can actually do remote internships. And yes, there are companies in the states who are interested in hiring students from countries like India and Africa, and give them a chance to come and intern with them, completely remote, completely virtual. And we have personally helped a couple of students get internship opportunities in the US and Canada through this remote model. In fact, we ourselves, we are a New York based company, and we do have interns, and we do have developers working from Europe, from US, and from India. So the international exposure is something that Recorem tries to bring here, not only for the students, but also for the colleges, also for the universities, because in this case, the symposium is hosted by the university. Your university can host a symposium and list it on Recorem, and you can have students from different continents, different countries actually participating in your symposium just because it is relevant to their career. And just like how students from other universities and other countries, they can actually participate in your symposium, learn from it, know about your college, and later this can also encourage them to come and pursue higher education in your college. It can also encourage discussions about collaborations, cross-border partnerships, and exchange programs. It will also encourage companies from different countries to actually scout and broaden their search and give opportunities to international talent. So Pratap, could you please go to the next slide? Thank you. So now that if you're thinking, okay, this looks like an interesting concept, but where do we get started? What is the price? What is it going to cost? What is it going to take? Let me quickly summarize that in the next 2 minutes. So implementing Recorem in your is going to be super simple. So all you have to do is, one, you should have a symposium that is already planned in your college. Now, if you don't have any symposiums planned, or if you have, if you're just thinking, how can we plan one currently? All you have to do is reach out to us. We have already planned and pre-made certain programs for a few colleges. We'll be able to share the case studies with you, and you would know how can we host different symposiums for different disciplines, different departments. So the first step is you would come on Recorem and register a profile, sign up as an organizer. It is completely free and it takes less than 5 steps. And as soon as you sign up, there you will list your event by creating a symposium. So you would actually, just like how you would go and list your event on virtual, event websites, you would just come and list an event. Like I said, Recorem is not a virtual event platform because we don't have a stage and we don't have many other things that a virtual event platform has. And we don't intend to be a virtual event platform. But in order to host the virtual event, all you have to do is have a webinar which can be live on YouTube or a different website like Vimeo, and you will be able to mirror that broadcast on Recorem. This way, the cost of implementation is close to zero, and it takes less than 5 or 10 steps to quickly plan a virtual event and host it. So step 1, you sign up with Recorem as an organizer. Step 2, as soon as you list your event, Recorem also does partnerships with industry association. Like Pratap said, industry associations are very important to Recorem because through our tie-ups, we are creating a channel between events and companies. So let's say now you have planned a symposium for in mechanical industry, right? And in the mechanical department, you have planned a symposium, something around CFD or something around uh, a really hot topic in the market. Now, as soon as the symposium is listed, all the mechanical companies in our database that is there through our industry association partnerships, all the companies will be informed that there is an event hosted by this particular college in this particular topic, and this topic is relevant to your company. So if you have internship opportunities, please come and post a job here. So what happens here is all the college has to do is come list the symposium, and then Recorem will help their symposium, reach the right audience, reach the right companies, and we will encourage the companies to come and post internship opportunities in this symposium. So the companies needn't worry about how are we going to bring companies to, even the colleges needn't worry about how are we going to bring companies to participate in events, because Recorem is going to help you with that. So that is the second step. The next step is we would actually market this and inform all the students about this event. And when the students participate, the students actually create a profile on Recorem where they list their skills that they may have, and they can self-rate themselves as they are a beginner here or they are an expert here. So based on the skills, Recorem has a matching algorithm which pre-qualifies all the candidates against the internship requirements. So for example, if the internship needs certain skills, only if the job candidate has that skill, the candidate will be eligible to apply for the job in the first place. This makes the job also easy for the candidates. So we did a survey and we realized that most of the companies, they don't reply or they don't get a chance to give a feedback because all the jobs, because they get a lot of irrelevant applications. When freshers or when students, they apply for a job, students, they don't look at what exactly those opportunities. They just go on some website like LinkedIn or Internshala and they just quickly apply on all the jobs and they just wait for someone to get back to them, right? But what they don't realize is they also making it hard for the companies, and the companies end up with 2 good resumes and 90 irrelevant resumes, and because of this, none of them get a feedback on time, right? So we are able to solve that problem using technology on Recorem. So it is completely automated. And yes, all applicants get a feedback within 72 hours after the event ends. Basically, this value addition of job discovery is actually going to motivate students to participate in symposiums. From our survey, we realized that only 5% of students take an initiative to participate in workshops, symposiums, and conferences conducted by the college. The barrier of entry is just that they don't find value or they don't get the interest to come and participate in such symposiums. But definitely, if you're going to say that you can find internship opportunities, that is going to motivate a student to come and participate in your event. That will motivate them to in fact pay a premium for your event. And Pratap, could we go to the next slide, please?
Sure.
Okay. So again, coming back to the monetary aspect of it, how much does it cost to use Recorem in my college, in my symposium? If this is the thought that is running in your mind at this point, I can tell you that this is a new product and we have a free pilot program which is currently in progress. So all you have to do is go on Recorem, or we have a form which is linked to this presentation, or it will also be mailed to you after the presentation. Please fill the form, and through this form, you can sign up for a demo or sign up for a pilot program. And not just that, in this form, as soon as you complete the form, you will be able to download a special handbook that we have created for educational institution. So this PDF, it clearly explains about the core idea of Recorem, how to plan a Recorem enabled symposium, how easy it is, and all the benefits that Recorem offers. And it also explains on how the revenue model works for the college and how much money they can make through this by using Recorem through their events. because this money, technically, a lot of colleges, they are not interested in making a profit from this, but this money that is earned through this can actually help them reinvest and conduct more and more symposiums for more, for multiple departments and students. It will become a self-sustainable model. And so, like, to recapitulate and conclude this webinar from my side, like Pratap said, we have multiple stakeholders in Recorem. So Recorem can be used in different places, right? So if you're a corporate event organizer, or if you're a company looking to hire students, interns, or even professionals, right? If you are a job seeker who thinks that you can use Recorem to find internships, full-time opportunities, or even contract and consulting work. A lot of people used Recorem to actually find freelance opportunities because they were not looking for a full-time job. Still, everything is solved by Recorem. We also have exclusive benefits, revenue model, partnership, and promo discount that is being offered to industry associations. We are open for partnerships, and the same is with colleges. So if you would like to know more about how Recorem can help you for your purpose, please visit our website recorem.com, and or feel free to shoot us a mail. And yes, thank you. And now we are open for questions. Pratap, would you like to add something?
Yeah, you can come back in, Pratap, show your face, and we can open up for good job. Wonderful job, all of you guys, both of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got me excited. I'm sure it got everybody else also excited among the audience. So let's see, we have questions coming up, and I will take a look at them and read them out.
Thank you, Professor Krishna.
So actually, one of our students, very active with IUC, actually asked a question: Can Recorem be used for during virtual convocation ceremonies, graduation ceremonies?
For job discovery, yes, why not? That's a new concept. That's a brilliant thought. Uh, if you're in your convocation and you're looking to get a job,
Right.
maybe that's an idea. If it doesn't distract others from the convocation, right?
Uday Radesh from Sividyaniketan in Tirupati. Okay, Martin Hoberg has a couple of comments and questions.
Sure.
Martin says, in which way do you pre-qualify resumes? Would it be an idea to propose a standard CV format such as Europass?
So the pre-qualification is primarily how the company lists their job, right? For when they list a job, they say, hey, these are the preferred skills, these are the mandatory skills, right? Now, for the outside world, I'm not talking about education institutions, but for the outside world, the match happens with with uh, with job seekers showing what jobs they have, what skills they have as their top skills. This is matched against what the company posts, nothing to do with the resume, how the resume is written. That's where we are different from the job portals. The job seeker posts what skills they have. If this matches with what the job requirement is, with the mandatory and the preferred skills, there's a match happening. A percentage of the match is shown to the company. Now, as far as college is concerned, they probably have very little skills when they're coming out of college. So they're going to say what they're going to what areas they want to work in, and companies were going to know that these are interns. They don't have industry experience. So there's a specific area called any skills that a company can pick. So students who have interest in areas that they want to work in, they will put that as their skill or their intention, and companies can post jobs um, with no specific skill for a college, or they can say these are preferred skills. If these are just with no mandatory skills. That's an option that we built into Recorem. I hope that addresses Martin's question.
Thank you, guys. Natasha, would you like to? We made you a panelist. One of our deans is here. Would you like to make any comment or questions? You can unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll keep going. Venkateshwarlu says, Can our first year students benefit for internships, short-term internships, mainly in connection to what speaker has pointed out on remote-based internships?
Krishna, Natasha
Yes,
here. I have
Natasha,
a little
come in,
difficulty.
come in,
Yeah, I have a little difficulty on muting myself.
No problem. Come in. Go ahead.
Yes, no, I think as you asked me to comment, I think it is wonderful to see that we have new applications like this one that can help us all to match qualify students, aspirants for new opportunities and job to the industry. I think it's fundamental. I think most recently has become a need to be able to do this at the distance, to have this support that ideas and companies like yours are providing. So I have not much more to add to the fact that it seems like this is a great tool that is now available to all of us. I hope that many people get to hear about what the tool is doing at this point, all the efforts of Recorem that of course is now being a work of, have some time, and it's being proven to be effective. And I just want to wish you well. And I think we hope, I think the academic institutions will need perhaps a little bit more detail, a little bit more information to feel comfortable. And I think I encourage you to reach out so that it may become a tool that we all will use. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for your wishes, Natasha. Thank you for that nice word about us. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. So back to the question about the internships. Anybody want to take I think the opportunity for internships for first year, second year, third year students? I think
Absolutely. I think the question is extremely important for us. We definitely want students from the first year onwards to be actively looking and participating in symposiums and find internships. That is our goal. Why do you have to wait till the third and your fourth year to actually look for internships? Why can't you have industry experience when you're in the first year? That is exactly what we want. And I thank you for asking that question. And I want the audience to understand that internship doesn't have to be limited to the third or the fourth year and all that.
Okay. So great. Recorem seems to be the best industry and student interface platform. One of our students, again from India. Thank you for the initiative. I would request you to share this presentation and pricing model to principals of colleges. In fact, I would follow up on that and say that we have the IUCE, which is Indo-Universal Collaboration for Engineering Education. We have about 100 colleges that are part of the consortium. So I'll follow up with you guys and say, can you do a little one of these things with a little more details to the principals of these colleges, because actually this might actually motivate them to do more symposiums.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
benefit to
Professor
it.
Krishna.
They figure out some expertise that they might have and do more symposiums. Great.
So what we're trying to do is, even though there's a monetary aspect when we do for the corporate world, because his idea was when he was in college, he said finding an internship was extremely difficult. He says we should begin by offering this to colleges with no cost to them. That was one of the reasons. So that's where we want to keep it. There should be no barrier for using it. Is what our goal is.
Thank you, Vikas, for doing that. And which college did you graduate from?
I graduated from Satyabama University, Chennai.
Chennai, okay. Yeah, we have some students from there. This is one of our friends from retired from GE, Anil Kumar Pandit. Maybe it's an opportunity to add national laboratories, standard bodies like UL, NEMA, OSHA, etc. as Recorem stakeholders. Maybe you've thought of that already. They have opportunities for internships and jobs, and themselves also conduct symposiums.
Wow, that's nice. We'll look into that and get them involved too, Professor Krishna.
Okay, great. Let's see. We have based on industry. Yeah.
Money is speaking from Chennai, Tamil Nadu.
Come on, yeah.
Thank you, Krishna, for the wonderful event organized on behalf of Recorem, on behalf of our IFIS and GDC. It's a very great tool. In fact, because nowadays we are talking about more of intern and the placements. I think Recorem will give the very good interface between the industry and the academia. I think I want to ask only one question. Whether our Indian students can be connected to international opportunities for intern as well as placements through Recorem? I need a kind of answer from either Vicky or Mr. Pradap.
Because you want to address that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Manivannan, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor, for the question. And yes, it's absolutely possible. So it did happen actually. So we had so in our Recorem inaugural launch that happened in April, we actually had a candidate from India. He was from Chennai, and he was actually qualified to apply for a job posted by a company from California. So this candidate, he has 1 year experience, not a fresher, but has 1 year experience. And the candidate was able to find, it was an IT job. So the company was open for remote candidates, and they were willing to engage with this candidate. So to answer your question, yes, students from India, if they are looking for internships or jobs or even freelance opportunities abroad, they can identify those opportunities on Recorem. And on Recorem, today, when we reached out to companies, they are open, they have many remote opportunities. They are comfortable with work from home, and they are open to hiring students. Now, yes, now this is not only for the IT department. Now let's say now I know, Professor, you represent the mechanical industry, and you are from the mechanical department. So let's say your student is interested to actually do an internship but with an international company. This case, there are companies in the mechanical industry that we personally know in Canada uh, who are actually offering remote internships. They are expecting the candidates to actually be familiar with certain softwares that they use in their mechanical softwares that they use day to day. So we did actually help the company find students, and I think they hired 2 students. One was from Africa, and the other student was from I think I'm not sure which country, but it was a Latin American country. So it is very much possible, Professor.
Great.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yeah, I have a logistical question. Okay, so let's say I'm having a symposium in my college on artificial intelligence, for example, right? And I have a whole day of speakers, and about 1,000 people attending virtually. How would I interface with the quorum? What physically happens? Does it flash information about different companies, where as a student I can tap into link and go to this link or that link? How does that work during the symposium?
Because you want to interest that?
Yeah. Okay. So so basically, how Recorem works is, on Recorem we have the event listed. That is, the symposium is listed on Recorem. So the symposium may have 1,000, or they may even have 10,000 attendees, right? It doesn't matter, because basically how Recorem works is, first the candidate. So on Recorem there are different stakeholders. Like I said, there is the organizer, then there is the hiring company, and then there's the job seeker. So everyone will sign up and they'll create a profile based on their role. So so when a student who's the job seeker in this case is going to sign up on Recorem, as soon as they sign up, they'll find your symposium listed there under recommended events based on the student's profile. Okay, obviously we won't be recommending a medical event to an engineering student unless there is some connection, like the student is from a biomedical engineering department, right? So here what happens is, when the student comes into Recorem, they click on this event and they join the event. Immediately there will be a live broadcast of the webinar from that event, which is going to be telecasted in a picture-in-picture mode inside the website. And on the side, they'll be taken to a page called Job Opportunities, and all the jobs that match the student's skills. The student created a profile. So how the student creates the profile is, the student goes and lists each and every skill the student has. Let's say student says, I'm good at Java, I have I'm good with this software, I'm good with this, that, and the student rates himself. If the job needs skills in Java or that particular software, that job is going to pop up saying that, hey, relevant to your skills, we found all these jobs. So the student needn't actually go over the jobs and decide which job is relevant. They can immediately quickly see the job, click apply, and that's it. Continue with the webinar. So there's no distraction.
So we're running out of time, so we really are, but sounds very fascinating. I think we have to try this out. It sounds like any student can join any symposium anywhere in the world,
Absolutely.
right? Oh, that's
Absolutely.
amazing. Okay, that's really global. Okay, great job. Fantastic job. I will look forward to having you guys give a symposium to my 100 colleges at some time in the near future. Any other
Absolutely,
comments, question?
absolutely.
Hans, back to you.
Thank you very much, Krishna. I really appreciate it. Pratap and Vikash, this has been really one of the really inspiring webinars that Krishna, Aliki, and I have been able to facilitate over the last year. Thank you very, very much. I do have a couple of comments also. I'm very happy that key leaders of our global community, Professor Mani and our former chair of the Global Engineering Deans Council, she just spoke for a few minutes, Natasha De Paola. I'm very, very happy she joined us. And I know other leaders, just a couple of comments to know, and I will follow up by email, Pratap, Vikash, today on various points here and where we can collaborate. And I'm glad Krishna also invited you to work with him. He has a serious and a very effective dynamic, community in India that he's working with. A key point I want to make is that IFES GDC, we work with over 50, we're close partners with over 15 global companies. So I think there'll be it's tremendous interest to establish a relationship. Number two, an important part of the IFES community is the engagement of at least 5 engineering student organizations. And I think they would be very, very interested. And there are several leaders in India, but also in other countries, for example, for you to know about. The other seed I want to plant is facilitate a conversation. I'm a co-chair with some awesome leaders in Spain this November, our global conference of IFES GDC, virtually hybrid per se. I'd like to find a way to get you engaged as a maybe co-sponsor, whatever. We can look at the details to get you involved this November. I'll follow up, and again, excellent presentations, both of you.
Let me jump in, Hans. I was remiss in not checking with the organizers earlier. You do have some surveys. Would you like me to launch them right now? We have a bunch of participants still. You have some surveys, right, Pratap?
Right, we had some questions in there, but now probably
You can do them. We can take a couple of minutes to do that. You want to do that quickly?
Sure, we can do that. We are here, we are
one by one.
available.
Okay.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I want to address Professor Hans. We're definitely very interested in looking to participate in the event in Spain. However way we can, with full contribution, we will try to do that.
Thank you very much.
So what are the major challenges for hosting symposiums in your college? One is sponsorship, speakers, content, all of the above. Okay, guys, let's come in. Let's just quickly get a sampling of responses from you guys, and we will close in just a few seconds. Okay, so the sample poll, what it says is 29% says sponsorships, and 18% says speakers, 0% says content, and 53% says all of the above. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to share that result right there for just 2 seconds, and just what I said earlier. I'm going to hide it now and go to the next one. I'm going to go really fast through this.
No worries. Thank you for doing that.
Forgot to budget my time accordingly. Okay, we're running out of time, but we ran out. Do you think non-IT internships students find it harder to find internships? Okay, now here's going a little faster over here, and I think the answer is fairly obvious, I would think. So I'm going to give it another few seconds. Okay, and we go close and share. Okay, we got 73% saying yes, and 27% saying no. So thank you for that response. Then we have the next one here. Will displaying internship opportunities in symposiums motivate more students to participate? Yes or no? Come on, guys. Will displaying internship symposiums motivate more students to participate? So this is a no-brainer, right?
Yes, we're hoping.
I'm going to close that. Somebody actually said no. Come on. So we got 96% saying yes, 4% said no. Okay. So anyway, that whoever that
Interesting.
as a different perspective. Okay,
So
so
we probably hope to hear their perspective and why that is not.
right, that might give you some new ideas, right?
Exactly.
Next question here is, do you think there is a gap between first year fresher skills and the skill demand in the market? Yes, keep coming, keep coming. And again, so this is also almost a no-brainer. So you have people saying, yeah, that's right, share. So 92% saying yes, and then 8% saying no. So we hide that, and then we go to the last one here, okay? And the last one gets a special prize, right? This is when should a student start looking for internships? First year onwards, second year onwards, third year onwards? When should they start looking for internship? That's a good question, right? That makes you think a little bit more. There you go. We got some good answers there. All right. Okay, so the people have really got used to it. Now you got almost everybody that's filling up the poll in just a few seconds.
Oh, nice. That's quick.
First year onwards is 29%, second year onwards 50%, and third year onwards 29%. So hopefully this helps you guys get some idea what our
50%
population
is interesting.
thinks.
Second year is 50%. That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good
a good
insight.
one. Yeah, I think that people should start thinking about it. All right, Grace, thank you. We did run out of time, but I thought this was a fun exercise to do with the survey. So thank you all, everybody. I'm going to hide that and say thank you, everybody, for joining us.
I want to extend my thanks to Professor Hans, Professor Manivanan, Professor Krishna for making this wonderful presentation happen, and for the kind words. And I don't want to forget to thank Aliki, who's made this possible for us. Thank you so much, Aliki. And we look forward to more presentations and any opportunities, any engagement with educational institutions. We're open to that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Peace be with you. Stay healthy, everybody, please. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. You as well.
Thank you kindly.
Bye. Bye.